I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Thursday, December 17th. News from Arkansas, task forces and more task forces. It's become a hallmark of Governor Asa Hutchinson's campaign. You got a big public policy issue. He'll handpick a group to study it. They'll study it, they'll make recommendations, and then he'll approve the recommendations that were in line with what he was expected to like in the first place. Yesterday, a highway study group produced its report, gave a lot of alternatives on different ways to raise money for highways, but one of them was a revenue neutral approach. That is, take money from other services and spend it on highways. The governor said he wants a revenue neutral plan. I like the odds of that one getting approved. This morning, a healthcare reform task force firmed up what we talked about yesterday. It's approving continuation of Obamacare Medicaid expansion. That's what the governor wanted. That's what he's going to get. It'll have some provisions to afflict the afflicted people in Arkansas who have been helped by this, so that other Republicans can feel a little bit better about their government money being spent on the poor, but we'll continue Obamacare. That's the bottom line. Today, he's announcing a government efficiency study. This is going to be done by the Arkansas Public Policy Foundation, nominally a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization, but it's always been operated by conservative Republicans to produce reports that support their ideological point of view, primarily lower taxes for rich people. It'll undoubtedly find government can be smaller. It's going to be an interesting dilemma for the governor, of course, back when these studies were done before the government was full of people appointed by Democratic governors. Now there's some Republican appointees in some of those deadwood jobs. They may be viewed as far more critical to the efficient operation than some of those Democrats were. That's what I'd bet anyway. On a piece of business I mentioned yesterday, they concluded a county court hearing yesterday without a decision on the petition by a couple of hundred people in Little Italy to incorporate as a town in northwest Pulaski County. This is an effort aimed at driving a hard in the stake of hard-won land use controls in the rural area in northwest Arkansas that is part of the watershed of Lake Maumelle, our water supply. That hearing is going to be continued. News today from Jackson County, Newport. The prosecutor there, Henry Boyce, has filed 50 sexual abuse charges against a former prison chaplain, Kenneth DeWitt, who operated a well-known prison ministry in which he allegedly used his association and a position of trust there to have sexual relations with 3 inmates on multiple occasions. He faces a string of felony charges. He, of course, is going to be accused by women who are serving terms in prison, and he will challenge their credibility, no doubt. The Human Rights Campaign was out today with a new report on how cities around the country do in extending equality to LGBT people. Arkansas cities almost uniformly scored poorly. Dozens of cities in the United States got 100% scores for their efforts in this area. Fayetteville led Arkansas with a rating of about 73. Little Rock was way down the list with a 37. The rest of Arkansas cities only scored at 18. This is not a good state yet for equality for LGBT people. Jeff Long, the University of Arkansas athletic director, yesterday announced that Robert Paliza, the women's volleyball coach, had resigned. He chose not to mention the fact that Paliza was under fire for allegedly abusive tactics toward his female players, demeaning name calling and bullying tactics, that sort of thing. Long is also stonewalling my request for information about whether there's any kind of severance agreement with Paliza. I'm waiting for information from the university on its own independent, non-athletic department compliance office review whether Title IX, which prohibits discrimination against women, was followed to the letter, because everybody's responsible for upholding that law, not only the coach. Should the allegations against him be true, we need to know what the athletic department knew and when it knew it. Jeff Long is not a man that likes to have questions asked of him. It's become clear. Finally, in a seasonal note, the Festivus poll, a Florida gadfly gay rights activist, is on a mission to put Festivus polls. This was a creation of Seinfeld. It's kind of an anti-Christmas mark for those who aren't necessarily Christmas celebrators in state capitals around the country. He's gotten into several of them. There'll be one in Florida. Even Oklahoma is going to have a Festivus poll in its capital. Mark Martin sent a long letter denying the requests in Florida. He talked about trademark safety and residency issues. He lured the poor guy to a fare thee well. So no festival poll in Arkansas unless a last-minute appeal can be mounted by the young man from Florida. But we'll still have our celebration. There is at least still a solstice display next to the nativity scene at the Arkansas Capitol. So to that, I just have to say a seasonal mazel tov. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.
You feel it in your heart. The spirit of Little Rock. We've had that spirit since 1927, helping build our city, by producing decades of leaders in the heart of our state. We are the heart of business and innovation, the heart of politics and government, the heart of arts and culture, and in our city beats the heart of a Trojan. UALR, we are Little Rock's team.